Here's something that might shock you. Studies show that 80% of medical sales teams are using completely wrong approaches for their target customers, leading to billions in lost revenue annually.
That's quite a revelation, especially considering how sophisticated the medical industry is supposed to be. What's causing this disconnect?
Well, it all comes down to this fascinating concept of customer segmentation. You see, medical companies are discovering that treating all healthcare providers the same way is like using the same prescription for every patient. It just doesn't work.
Hmm. So, how are the successful companies approaching this differently?
Let me share something interesting. The top performing medical sales organizations are using what they call sweet spot analysis. They're looking at three key factors: the cost to serve each customer type, the potential revenue, and this is crucial, the specific buying behaviors of different medical professionals.
That makes me think about how different a heart surgeon's needs must be compared to, say, a general practitioner.
Exactly. And here's what's really fascinating. Research shows that heart surgeons typically require 5 times more product demonstrations and technical support than GPs, but they also generate about 8 times more revenue per account.
So, how do companies balance these different levels of service requirements?
Well, you know what's really clever? They're using a tiered approach. For instance, some companies have found that using telesales for rural general practitioners can reduce service costs by 60% while maintaining similar satisfaction levels. It's all about matching the right service level to the right customer segment.
That's quite impressive. Using technology to solve a resource allocation problem.
And here's another interesting data point. Companies that properly segment their medical customers see an average of 23% increase in sales efficiency within the first year. They're essentially creating these specialized sales approaches for different types of medical professionals.
That reminds me of how tech companies handle enterprise versus small business customers.
Oh, that's such a good parallel. And like tech companies, medical sales teams are finding that different segments have completely different buying criteria. For instance, hospital administrators focus heavily on cost effectiveness and ROI, while specialists are more concerned with technical specifications and performance metrics.
How are they handling the training aspects for such different customer approaches?
So get this. The most successful companies are actually investing about 40% more in specialized sales training compared to their competitors. They're creating these incredibly detailed customer personas and training programs specific to each medical specialty they serve.
That level of specialization must really impact their bottom line.
Absolutely. And here's the really exciting part. Companies using this targeted approach are seeing customer retention rates improve by up to 35%. They're not just making sales, they're building these long-term relationships based on deep understanding of each segment's needs.
These numbers really show the value of getting it right.
And you know what's even more interesting? The future implications are huge. With the healthcare industry becoming more specialized, companies are predicting they'll need to create even more refined segment-specific approaches in the next 5 years.
That sounds like it could get pretty complex to manage.
Well, here's the thing. The companies that are succeeding are using sophisticated CRM systems that can track and analyze customer interactions across different segments. They're finding patterns that help them predict which approaches will work best for each type of medical professional.
So, what's the key takeaway for businesses looking to implement these strategies?
You know, it really comes down to this fundamental shift in thinking. Instead of asking, how can we sell more? Successful companies are asking, what do our different customers truly value? And that's making all the difference. The data shows that companies making this shift are outperforming their competitors by an average of 27% in annual revenue growth.
That's quite a compelling argument for taking the time to get this right.
And that's exactly why this topic is so crucial for anyone in sales or business strategy. It's not just about medical sales. These principles can transform how any business approaches its customer relationships. Until next time, keep thinking about those sweet spots in your market.